Today on the Become a Unique podcast, I have such a beautiful and amazing guest by the name of Melody. Welcome.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I cannot wait to get into today's topic. But before we jump into today's topic, I would love for you to share who is Melody. And
Yes.
Melody is also the one of the faces behind oops, I'm sorry, let me say that again, True Healers. So before we get started with today's topic, you got to tell everybody who is Melody. And just to let you guys know, Melody is one of the faces behind True Healers. So you got a two-part question. You got to tell me who Melody is, and then you're going to tell us a little bit about who True Healers is, and so on.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
So yes, my name is Melody, and I have a background in corporate America. So my parents are actually immigrants, and they kind of had this idea for me to live the American dream, quote unquote, of going to school, getting good grades, getting a job, and climbing up the corporate ladder. And I did that for a bit. And after just working in that space for a while, I just realized how not really fulfilling it was to me. And I just had this desire to I wanted to do more. I wanted to make an impact, and I just wanted to create something. So I left that and I pursued the world of startups, which was really exciting because for me, I went from working in a department of like 70 people just in marketing. I was a copywriter and marketing coordinator, and going from a department of 70 people to being employee number 2 at a startup in the yoga, health, and wellness space. So that was incredible because it gave me the chance to learn so much about, things like you're managing new challenges every day, like customer service and technology, your HR, your finance, your all these things, and you're trying to navigate it. So I realized like you can teach so much to yourself if you have that curiosity and willingness to learn. And Google University, right? So I learned everything I know about like SEO and digital marketing and content marketing through that. And because that was in the health and wellness space, it was kind of unifying the best of both worlds for me because I saw what, sitting in a chair 8 hours a day does to you. And I just wanted to not do that anymore as much as I could. So in this startup space, it was in yoga. And through that, I got my yoga certification, which was something that I wanted to do, not necessarily to teach, but I was just interested in learning about the practice and the subject and just to move my body and energize my mind and spirit. I ended up falling in love with it, and I would teach on weekends and nights whenever I had the time. And then I had this calling to just make a big change in my life. I grew up in Florida, and I really, really wanted to go to California. I know that's the epicenter of, health and wellness, and yoga, of course. So just wanting to be my own kind of entrepreneur, I left Florida to go to California, to bright and sunny Los Angeles. And that is where I met Caitlin, the other co-founder and CEO, and another co-founder, Jacqueline, who had this idea to start True Healers. And we kind of combined forces because all of us have, hardworking, either corporate backgrounds or hospitality backgrounds who fell into something that we were a little more passionate about. For myself, it was yoga and meditation. For Caitlin and Jacqueline, it was massage therapy and yoga as well. And we collectively learned in our own separate lives how working in the more passion-focused space, sometimes it's not that easy to earn a living, right? I went through 10 months of yoga certification, graduated, and when I did teach yoga on the side, you're not making anywhere near the kind of money you're making working a more traditional job. So we saw how, discouraging that can be for those who want to pursue a life that's, focused on the spiritual arts or, the mind, body, and spirit, things like that. Yoga, massage therapy, even being like a life coach, it can be really difficult because you're going from having the secure paycheck and structure to having to basically be your own business owner, do your own marketing and kind of build up your clientele and, working for next to nothing. And what if you have a family to support? What if, you have a certain way you want to live your life? You can't really do that without, necessarily giving that up or really sacrificing that or having that privilege to be able to do that. It's extremely difficult. So together we brought this idea to life to serve in both two very similar ways. So so we brought this idea to life to serve two worlds. For one, it's the client side. So we wanted to create an experience that lets individuals create a wellness lifestyle that fits them. So we all know our wellness and self-care is not one size fits all. We all have different ways of taking care of ourselves. For some, at the end of a long week, we like to get a massage. Others, we like to exercise our spirit and our body in yoga. For others, maybe they need some guidance in their career and maybe they consult a life coach or get an astrology reading and consult the stars. So we wanted to, like I said, create this experience that gives people access to different wellness practices on their terms. We make up excuses all the time not to take care of ourselves. I know I've said, I can't go to yoga today. I have too much laundry to do.
Yes.
What? That's ridiculous. And other reasons that are just as valid, like, we have to take care of our family. We're a nurse that works from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. What's going to be open after we get home and, there's no studios or spas or anything open to take care of ourselves. So this app allows you to book a wellness experience on your schedule. We have so many different options with different healers and different modalities that you can book because they set their own schedules. You can book at a time that works for you. You can do it virtual or in person. Right now, in person is just based in Los Angeles, but we're hoping to expand very quickly. And it gives that convenience to allow you to do that for yourself and explore different modalities because we have so many options to try something maybe new. So maybe you're just really into yoga and personal training, but then you see something like Reiki on the platform and you're like, I've heard about that before. What is that? Through the app, you can open yourself to those experiences and try something new. And also create a wellness lifestyle that evolves with you. So, let's say you do life coaching and, maybe you've gotten to a point where you're set in your career, but, you want to work a little bit on your body or your spirit and you want to do Reiki or get an astrology reading or something like that. So essentially we created it for the clients to make wellness more simplified, more accessible, and more affordable. Because we offer one-time services or subscription. You can treat yourself once a month. And all the services are the same price. So you don't have to compare different healers to see who's offering, competitive prices. It's very much kind of you pick and you have that confidence. And we also do very extensive background checks on our healers. So background checks, you go through multiple stages of interviewing to demonstrate mastery of your skills. You have to have up-to-date certifications, liability insurance. So for the safety and security of the client, every time you're booking a true healer, you're getting the best possible service. And we do that because there is this stigma behind healing where, you're walking down the street. I have a friend that this happened to, but she was walking down the street in New Orleans. She saw, a psychic and she went in to get a reading. And the psychic told her that, she has this familiar curse passed down from generations from her family. And the psychic can remove that curse, but it's going to cost her $200. So that kind of dilutes the effect that healing can have and kind of turns people off to it, rightfully so. So by vetting out our healers, we create this new standard of healing, whether it is the mind, the body, or the spirit, that gives you that security that you're getting a service that's carefully vetted and that you can enjoy. So just as much as we exist for the client, we exist for the healer. Coming from a healing background myself, I've seen how it can be not really sustainable to have a lifestyle with what you get paid for your healing services. So we do offer sustainable pay, and we kind of eliminate all of the stresses that come along with being a healer. Like, we do marketing for our healers. We have this community network where we, facilitate that connection with one another. All you have to do is show up, do your healing practice whenever you're booked, and then you get paid instantly. You can set your own schedule. You have the freedom to do this, whether you want to do this as a side hustle, and maybe you have 5-10 hours a week you want to devote, or if you want to go into it full time, you can set your schedule open. You want to go to Bali for 2 months with your family, you don't need to clock in, clock out, ask anyone permission. You just do your thing. You go, come back. Maybe if you want to do healing from Bali, you do that there. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me and True Healers.
Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You gave us so much to dissect. And I was telling you just before we started recording, when I discovered you guys, one of your healers, she was actually a guest on this podcast, almost about 2 years ago. Her name is Healer Tiffany. When she posted on her story, I didn't even have to question it. I said, this is genius. This is absolutely genius. So you guys have an app called True Healers, and your app is an offering for all of us out here to get some type of healing on different levels. And just like you were saying, so you may be coming for coaching, or you may be coming for Reiki. And I was telling you, just before, about 5 years ago, I wasn't familiar with this healing space. So I was pretty new to it. And as I started coming to the healing space, I was tiptoeing in, trying to figure my way. Like, Healer Tiffany was the one that told me what Reiki was. I didn't know what Reiki was. But she had to inform me on my podcast, what is Reiki? So this was new to me. So because I was coming from the mainstream of America, and this is not talked about in schools. This is not talked about, like just on a regular basis. I feel like, people in the healing space are familiar with Reiki, but I don't feel like it's talked about in the bigger, wide scheme of commercial space.
Yes, that's so true.
Yeah, so this is so beautiful that you have this platform, because it feels safe. Because like I was also saying, like, I'm in New York City. Sometimes you're walking down some streets and it's like, get your psychic reading, get your healing, and it's just like, you kind of stay away unless you're like completely desperate. And it's like, I just need answers. But you're like, I don't know what that lady is up to. I'm not going over there. It's like these judgments that we make in our head sometimes, not saying that the woman is doing anything wrong, but sometimes when we don't know something, or we're not familiar with something, we're scared of it.
Yeah.
So for you to have this platform where, like you said, you are doing this, you're doing background checks on your healers, and you're making it a safe environment where people can shop their healers as well too. Because also you may walk over to the place and you're like, do I like this person? Do I not? Like, you have a moment to like look at the person, read their bio, understand, do I want to work with this healer, or do I not want to work with this healer? You can make that decision. And then I love that you said everyone's the same price. So now you don't have to be like, I kind of like her better, but she's more money, so I think I'm going to go with this one. You go with which your soul was calling you to from the beginning. You don't have to worry about the the money part of it. It's like I'm summing up everything you said. And then I absolutely love that you are making a platform for healers as well too, so they can get a wider reach of of opportunity to heal people on your platform. So genius, genius, genius. I absolutely love it. Love it. Love it.
Amazing.
How long have you got? You're welcome. How long have you guys been around?
So True Healers started in 2020, and we first we built a website that you could book all of these healers on, but we quickly found out just the big idea that we had, the interface just wasn't right for what we want to do online. Like, we have been bootstrapping this company pretty much since the beginning, and now we're just now getting additional support from our other wonderful investors who truly believe in us, which is amazing, by the way, because for me, I see that as like, when you draw a picture when you're little and you go to your parent and you're like, hey, like, look at this thing that I drew, and they're like, oh, fantastic, let me put it on the fridge. That's like the business owner equivalent of that, because it's like, oh my gosh, you believe in this thing so much, you want to help support it. And that's really powerful. So we just launched the app in July of this year. So it's somewhat brand new to the app space.
Yeah, so July of 2022. Amazingness. So, we just, ran off talking about healing and the healing space, but I like to do the bare bone basics at the Becoming Unique podcast. So let's just even have a conversation on what is a healer? What does a healer look like? What is a healer? Like a one-on-one definition for you.
So for me, a healer is someone who creates space for someone else to show up and feel heard, seen, and understood. Because I believe we all have the tools to generally heal ourselves, from a very modest standpoint. But sometimes we need the permission of others and someone that we trust to help facilitate that. So really a healer is someone who creates that space for someone else and helps empower them to make a positive change in their life or do something different. And it's all about being of service for another person and using your gifts that you have to help improve the world as a collective and really connect one another, because that is something that's so important. And you mentioned that earlier about how you can read other healers' bios on our platform. And we do that because we don't want you to worry about the price and having to pay a disparity in price. You can really look for our healers on our platform and really connect with someone that you read their bio. And we have such a diverse selection of healers. We have some of the most, I will say we have the most diverse healers in the world because they come from all walks of life, all different backgrounds, all different ethnicities, because we want to make everyone feel like they can connect with someone. And that's really sometimes all it takes, is to just feel that connection and get that permission from someone else to really make a big change in your life.
That's such a beautiful definition. I love that, you said that it's someone that's creating space for someone to be, heard and seen and understood. And you also mentioned that you do believe that we all have like the healing powers within ourselves, but it's understandable that we do want to sometimes allow someone to help us facilitate that. And, on this Become Unique podcast, a lot of times I speak like, like it's all within us. And even like I have a self-care book and I'm like, you hold the key to your life's journey, because I truly believe that, the power is within us. But sometimes we do need a little assistance. So there goes our healers to help us along the way with this journey. You said so many other great things, such a beautiful definition behind it. So healing is not a straight line. It doesn't come in just one form. There's not one magic blue pill. There are many different forms of healing. Can you list the different forms of healing that you guys offer on your website? Like you said, Reiki is one form of healing. What are the other forms of healing that you offer on your website? Your app?
Yes. So we group all of our healing services under 3 categories: mind, body, or spirit. So I think right now we have probably more than 25 or 30 different healing services as a collective. And then, and just to name a few, we have Reiki, life coaching, yoga, astrology, movement therapy, Akashic record reading, which is something I just learned. It goes into your past lives, which is so fascinating. We also have wellness coaching, Ayurveda experts, chiropractors, acupuncturists. The list truly goes on and on. So you can find something that just really aligns with you, or try something different and fun and unique.
Yeah, so like Akashic records, someone may have heard of it, or they may just be hearing it for the first time now, and then someone doesn't even know where to even start with that. Like, it's like, where do I get an Akashic record reading? There we go. So the true healers, and there you go. You get it right there. Or, where do I even start with this Reiki thing? Yeah, there we go. Could you just, I know I said Healer Tiffany came on this podcast and gave us a definition of what Reiki is, but could you just give us a definition of Reiki? Because I feel like all the other stuff people may kind of understand. They understand what yoga is, they understand astrology, even if they just know it from their parents reading it in the newspaper, they have some type of understanding. But I feel like Reiki may still be something new to some people. So could you give us a definition of Reiki?
Yeah. And I want to represent this as best as possible for all of our extremely talented Reiki healers on our platform. From my experience, Reiki is a form of energy healing that helps identify the different blocks that you have within your mind, body, spirit, and help restore that balance through focused energy from the healer practicing on you. So it's very much technically a hands-off practice, because I've heard it called Reiki massage, but you're not actually there's no hand-on-hand contact. It's the healer's hands just hover maybe like an inch or so above your body as they do a scan. And then through there, they see which chakras are out of balance, and just anything that you might be struggling with. And I always like to compare hands to being x-rays. We're all made of energy. We're like these big energy radio towers, and we're intercepted with thoughts and emotions and influences and stimuli from the outside world, and that can create a lot of imbalance and dis-ease within us. And sometimes we don't even realize. Sometimes we're so stressed we don't even realize we're clenching our shoulders until someone says like, hey, like, drop your shoulders, breathe, relax, like it's okay. So Reiki energy healing is amazing. And the first time I received my own energy healing, I had no idea what to expect. And it was amazing. It was from one of our own healers. And I felt this tingling sensation throughout my entire body. And she was kind of walking me through this guided meditation as she was doing this healing. But hands are truly x-rays for picking up the different energy fields on your body. And just like we can sense, when something is wrong with someone, or if you've ever met someone in your life and for whatever reason, they don't give you any reason not to trust them, but you just have this gut feeling, that's energy. And I love what Reiki energy healers do, because they just help open your mind's eye to what's possible and notice things that maybe you haven't noticed, and clear some stuff up that you may not have even realized was there.
Beautiful. So Reiki healing is under the energy healing category. So I guess on your app, that would be under spirit.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I passed the test. Okay. So can we just expand more on the power of energy healing? Because, that may be where, the mainstream person that's listening to this may be like, okay, this is getting a little woo-woo for me. I don't know what they're talking about. I need to feel and touch, this stuff. But can you expand and talk about the power of energy healing?
Yeah. So, I mean, energy healing it makes you, or it kind of opens your eyes to see and understand things that you may not necessarily perceive. So we know air exists, even though we can't technically see oxygen. And like I said before, we're all made up of energy. We're all made up of energy particles, and we're affected by different, our surroundings, our other people. And sometimes we can feel stress. How you can feel either your friend's stress or your partner's stress, and you kind of metabolize that as well, and that can cause you stress. Well, I mean, that's energy that you're transferring even unknowingly to another person. So energy healing just really, in my eyes, just makes you more self-aware, and just help manage your thoughts, and just the various stimuli that's going into your body. And to me, it makes you just more conscious, more empathetic, more compassionate to others, more sensitive to others, because I think it's something that a lot of us struggle is it's so easy for us to go on autopilot and tune out and like go, do our job, do, whatever, and just like tune out. Energy healing really helps you tune in, tap into the present moment, and really live authentically. And a lot of us struggle with like, oh, what is our purpose in life? Well, chasing that purpose is, kind of this arbitrary goal of like, what will I do, this one thing that will make me happy? But that's really, in my opinion, not the idea. It's to acknowledge the present and live right now and experience the joy right now. And that will help you live a more fulfilled life. And also, if you are just more aware, you're more aware of what's going on in your body. You might not even be paying attention to, some pain that you might have. Maybe you're breathing in your chest, and you're not breathing in your lower belly, and that's causing tension and stress and tension headaches. And just that kind of energy healing helps you just be more aware, so you know what's going on within your body, and it helps you just be more emotionally intelligent, understand what's going on with others. I can say as a yoga teacher, even though that's more, the actual yoga flows are more physical practice, but it's very much an energy practice as well, because you have to be able to walk into a room and read the energy. There could be like, you have no idea why someone showed up to your class that day. It could be someone who's just going for their routine, or someone who is just recently going through a divorce and they just need to get back into their body for an hour. So it just helps you understand both yourself and the world around you.
Yeah, beautiful. I'm so happy that we took a pause to like really expand on energy, understanding that it's something that is real. Yeah, I like the example you gave about the air, like, and oxygen, like we can't necessarily see it, but it's there. So it exists just as energy exists. So, okay, so we have an understanding about your app. We have an understanding on the type of services that your app offers. Okay, so we are ready. We go to your app. We're ready to book a session. What does a session look like?
Yes. So depending on what session you book, that can vary greatly, right? But the process is pretty seamless altogether. So you go and you select the healer that you want through their bio. You can select their service that you want to book. You book that session. And from there, you'll receive a confirmation email with all the details. And of course, we know life happens. And if you need to reschedule, you have the freedom to do that on the app outside of the 24-hour window before your service occurs. So you can manage your appointments all through there. And once you do book it, your healer will reach out to you, which is really special because we have that messaging system built in on the app where you can, once you book, you can really connect with your healer and ask any follow-up questions, anything that you should be prepared for. They can kind of give you the rundown of everything that you can expect in the service from start to finish, so that when you do actually have your session, there's no kind of like distractions or anything. You're getting the maximum value of your healing session. So yeah, you get your confirmation. Your healer will coordinate with you, whether it's virtual, in person, just the details for how to attend your session. And then on the day of your session, you have it. And then afterwards, you receive an email saying, "Oh my gosh, you did something amazing for yourself." Let us know what you think. We value that review and that feedback. And it's pretty simple. I mean, I think the most time consuming part is finding the healer, because there are so many things to choose from. I mean, we do have a quiz on our website that helps you find the healing service that works for you, to help kind of narrow down those choices. Because some folks know, like, oh, I know I want a massage, on Thursday at 6 p.m. Let me go find the healer that's closest to me and book that service. But others, they need a little bit of guidance, and I understand, because there's so many healing options out there. But yeah, it's basically find the service that you want from the healer that you want, book, have your session, lather, rinse, repeat.
Okay, so cool. So you have in person and also virtual. So if a person's doing it in person, is the healer coming to them, or are they going to the healer?
Yeah, so the healer will come to their home. And right now we're only offering in-person sessions in Los Angeles until we expand globally, which I know will be very soon.
Yeah.
But every single service that we offer in person can be done virtually, with the exception of massage therapy, chiropractic, and acupuncture for obvious reasons.
Okay, cool. So virtually, is it done on the app? Is there like a way they virtually do on the app, or like do they get like a Zoom link or something and it's like check in at this time on Thursday?
Yeah, so we're working on building a feature for in-app video calling. But right now the healer coordinates with the client to see what works best for them. A lot of our healers have pro Zoom accounts, so usually they'll give them the Zoom link. And that's sometimes, or that'll be in their confirmation email if they do have Zoom. But other than that, it's really what the client is most comfortable with. Some of them want to do FaceTime, some of them want to do through WhatsApp. And so we allow that facilitation between the client and the healer to do what works best for them.
Okay, so it's customizable as well too. So it's not like you got to do it this way or it's no way.
Yeah.
So okay, so and this is why the importance of the like the chat service or the conversation is so important. How long is a session?
So we offer a few different types of sessions. You can choose from 30-minute, 60-minute, 90-minute, or 120-minute sessions. And the healers can choose which sessions they offer. So you might not see like all 4 of those on each healer profile, but those are the 4 choices that you have generally.
Okay, nice. Okay. So let's say no, I was just thinking, and then can the healer go over time? Like if it's like a 60-minute session and then they decide, you know what, you're doing such an amazing time. I want you to just knock this over to 90 minutes. They're open to do that as well too. They can,
Yeah.
even though they didn't schedule it.
Yeah. So we allow that. We allow the healers to sort that out if they want to. We're also having a tipping function that we can include. So if the client wants more services, they can tip the healer extra based on the general rate that we offer. But yeah, there's a lot of freedom on the app, and that's what I really love, and I think really sets us apart, because it's not about the transaction that you're doing, it's about the connection that you're facilitating, and that is the most important. Because I mean, I use yoga as an example a lot because of my yoga background, but you don't go, or at least I don't go to a yoga class because it's a yoga class. I go for the yoga teacher because they inspire me, they motivate me. And that's the same with healing, is you find that healer and you just connect with them right off the bat.
Yeah. It's definitely it's beautiful that it's customizable for each person and your needs, because everyone's healing looks different. And then what may work for me may be different for what works for you. So if I want to do FaceTime instead of some Zoom, nah. But oh my goodness, we've learned so much about true healers, and I really thank you for that. And I think we touched on almost every part that you have to offer, but please share with us anything that we didn't touch upon.
I think we pretty much covered it. We're always looking for new healers to join the platform. So if there are any healers or aspiring healers listening right now, you can apply on our website. And anyone who's looking for a healing service, I encourage them to check out our website. Our social media is our community that we've really worked to build over the past couple years, and we're always kind of doing stuff like I do Instagram lives with healers once a week, and we post all of this content that gives you wellness and self-care tips, and just kind of like be your buddy along this wellness journey. So yeah, check us out.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my goodness, such an amazing conversation, but I can't let you leave yet. I would love for you to tell us, what does becoming unique mean to you?
Yes. Okay. So becoming unique is giving yourself permission to express yourself authentically, pursue your passions without any distractions from the outside world or individuals, and just kind of setting your own path without apologies.
I love it, love it, love it, love it. So, True Healers, the information will be in the show notes. Make sure everybody downloads the app and you got healing right at your fingertips. I just thought of something like if someone, can someone get like healing like really last minute? They're up at 2 a.m. in the morning and they just feel like they need answers. Like, I need a reading, a card reading. How fast can they get it?
That's a great question. Yes. So right now you can book a healer as early as 24 hours. So we're working on, having more like having a feature that lets you instantly book. But right now, I mean, yeah, you can book as soon as 24 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, the emergency healing button. I need an emergency healing button now.
That's a good idea. I'll take that to our team and our
Coming from the
developers.
emergency
Excellent.
the healing button. Oh my goodness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You were amazing.
Thank you. And thank you so much for being so generous with your time, Unique. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.